Hometown fans and your family is just a thrill.
Was your dad in this rink mainly, or the other rink?
Both actually. Spent a lot of years in the old garden, and then when they moved over to the new garden, he spent a lot of years.
Can you pick a favorite memory of maybe the first time you went to the rink, or a big event that you got to see at one of the two MSGs?
Probably just watching my brother Kenny, my oldest brother, play in Madison Square Garden. It wasn't a big event, but for the family it definitely was.
Give me a thought on Yarmer. As we'll see, we're running the skills as a part of a taped special tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, but Yarmer had to go back to Pittsburgh. Tell me about him and what you know about Mario and how he's coming along.
Well, according to the injury report, Yarmer pulled his groin. Some people say it's pretty bad. Some people really don't know. He went home this morning, and I'm sure he'll get checked out by our doctors. As far as Mario goes, he's coming along pretty good. He's skating every day with us. When he'll be back, nobody knows.
And just want to mention, 36 years old, Joe, you're ageless. What's the key to this fountain of youth that you found?
I just think it's my enthusiasm for the game. I still love to go out there and play and have a lot of fun doing it. So as long as I can do that, I think I can keep going.
There's no doubt about that. Well done, and we're going to hear from Brian, who's coming along great too, your brother, so keep it going.
Thanks, man.
There's Joe Mullen, one of the All-Stars, and we're going to bring the goalies by here in just a moment. One of the beautiful stories last night and today were the ovations for John Van Beesbroek, whom you see there, and Mike Richter of the New York Rangers. Mike and John were mates for Roger Nielsen, and now, of course, Mike Keenan at the helm. The Rangers are off and flying, and the Florida Panthers have dominated the Stanley Cup champions this year with JVB. Mike, how about those ovations? Must have made the two of you feel good, and I know goalies don't tend to get together too much when you're opponents now, but tell me about the magic of the day that you're enjoying.
I think this whole weekend is fantastic, and John and I knew that at the end of last year we probably played our last game together, so this is a really enjoyable reunion. You know, John's played well and deserves to be here, and I've had a fairly successful season with a good team in front of me, so I'm really just happy that we could be reunited under such good circumstances here in New York. It's amazing.
Mike, all you did is win 20 in a row. John, you really have been brilliant. You may well be on the ballot for the Hart Trophy this year with what the Panthers have done. It's not the first time you two are getting together, though. 3 great games between the Panthers and the Rangers. Tell me about dueling against Mike.
Oh, it's always fun. I have a lot of admiration for Mike, and it's fun coming back here to Madison Square Garden for the All-Star game, and it's a special feeling, I think, for everybody in the room to come and, you know, be a part of the history of Madison Square Garden.
You seem like you're really having fun now, but you both got to go in. Did anybody mention that?
Yeah, we got a period left, and looks pretty rocky out there with Sergei Fedorov.
Yeah, he's looking sharp, and this is the game that was supposed to tighten up a little bit defensively. But the good part is there's a few goals scored out there, but it's a tight game. It's a 1-goal game, and that's even if there's a lot of goals scored, the fans will enjoy that.
Well, the best part's actually seeing you like this. John Van Beesbroek and Mike Richter, Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers. When we come back, we're going to keep on the subject of goaltending. The masked men are Emil Francis and Felix Potvin, the Western Conference, Eastern Conference All-Stars, putting on a show on Broadway this afternoon, and we'll continue with our coverage live from Madison Square Garden, New York, and Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC in a moment. Cats, Emil Francis, star goaltender of the Blackhawks in the 40s. Felix Potvin, star goaltender of the Leafs of the 90s.
And we played against a team called the Regina Commandos. And Scotty Melville was covering the game for the Regina leader post, and he said, Musha unveiled the goalkeeper tonight, and he's quick as a cat, and he's got fast hands. And from that point on, that's where I got the nickname.
Came out from Felix the Cat cartoon, and it got a lot bigger when I first started in Toronto with the media and everything, get bigger and bigger, and I don't have any problem with that nickname, especially that good goaltender had it before.
And I joined Chicago Blackhawks halfway through the year, and they were in last place at the time. And our first game was against the Boston Bruins. And, of course, Brimsek was a goalkeeper, and they had the great line, the Kraut line of Milt Smith and Porky Dumars, Bobby Barr. And they had a defenseman by the name of Pat Egan who had a good shot. And before the game, one of the veterans on the team came up to me, and they said, watch Egan, number 2, he's got a good shot. Finally, along comes Pat Egan, and he fired one just outside the blue line about maybe 60 feet away, 65 feet away. So I was going to give it the old business of catching with one hand instead of moving over the body in front of the puck. And the puck dropped about that far on me. I looked over my shoulder, and there it was in the net. I'll tell you, I never did that again.
I remember my first game I was playing down in St. John, Newfoundland, and after games against Rochester, I got the call because Grant Fjord was hurt. Then I came down and happened to be in Chicago Stadium, where is probably the best building to play hockey right now. And because during the national anthem, I was looking to the bench one time, and almost every player were looking at me, and they were all smiling. So I guess they just want to see if I was nervous or not.
I couldn't say that there's a building I didn't like. And that's why it'll be a sorry day when we lose the Montreal Forum, we lose the Boston Garden. It'll be too bad, like, you know, eventually, no doubt they'll have a new building in Toronto, too. And to me, growing up as a kid, I can always recall 7 o'clock Saturday nights. Hello, Canada, the United States, and the special order of the Canadian troops serving overseas. This is Foster Hewitt, and with 2 minutes to go in the first period, Toronto always seemed to be leading. But we'd be there listening to that game, and that's where your dreams would come from.
When I got called up for the first game, I called home as soon as I knew, and they were all excited, and I knew the game was on TV home. So after the game, I called back home to know if they were watching the game, and all of a sudden I talked to my mom and my dad, and turned out that all family was there. So I ended up talking on the phone for an hour and a half, I think. So it was pretty funny.
The only way you're going to prove yourself is by stopping pucks, and I think that I've gone through that, say, with the New York Rangers as well as St. Louis Blues, because to me the key in building a hockey club is right between the pipes. You've got to have a goalkeeper. And I remember when I got Eddie Jockman from Providence, I gave up 4 players for him. I remember I brought Mike Liut into St. Louis, and then I traded for him, brought him to Hartford. And they were the building blocks that you built a team around.
With Pat Burns in Toronto, I think he didn't win the Coach of the Year for nothing last year. I mean, he really put together a great work ethic, and we really play a good defensive style, and he knows how to get 100% of every player.
This is Hines with the puck. Smolinski going in there after the rebound, and Pudvay somehow stopped Smolinski, and then Juno. Very, very huge save.
The cat has 9 lives, and I'm not going to be here forever, so we got to keep that cat coming along.
Oh, yes, they call them the Cats. Emil Francis, of course, long reign here as a GM and coach, and with St. Louis and the Hartford Whalers. You heard him muff his first shot in the NHL, but he won his first 6 games and was a star for the Blackhawks. And Felix, in his first, lost 2-1 at the stadium, but was a star in that game. He's got his mom and dad here. His only brother Alex is here, and his fiancée Sabrina. And they saw him play a great period on behalf of his conference. It's 4-3 the West. There's the East and the West All-Stars preparing for period number 2. We'll have that and more as we continue with an All-Star celebration from New York City on Molson Hockey Night in Canada, daytime edition on CBC.
The first portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC was brought to you by Ford of Canada, where quality is job one. It's working.
Here's a chance for Bure.